welcome to my channel. Today is Sunday, May 18th, 2025, and today's my day off. I'm doing my walks, and I think I'm very happy I'm not out there walking today. First of all, it's been raining since yesterday afternoon, and my legs need a break. The last couple of days, I'm not really sure how. Well, yeah, I did. I did make my mile at the cemetery that one day. And then yesterday I was on the back road. So I'm not really sure how far I went, but I know I'm ready for a rest. My legs need to recover. So, but I'll tell you what, this morning, I don't know. I was up early again this morning. I don't know what it is. I don't know if anything woke me up. I just 4:45. I woke up and I just couldn't get back to sleep. But I don't think I feel as bad as yesterday. Yesterday I was. I'm sorry I was doing all that crying. But I was thinking about what I could talk to you about today, and I want to do the simple low carb hacks, part three. And I have a list here because this part here, what I'm going to discuss, is what is the most powerful thing that keeps me going. And so the first thing is how well your body adapts to having the no carbs. Now, I know it took me a month to get the carbs lowered very gradually, but once you get them down, it happens quickly. Because once I actually went from not having the carbs to going into the um, ketones, the cravings happened within a couple of days. There was no cravings. It was miraculous. When you're not having the carbs, you're gradually reducing for however long that takes you. If it takes longer, if it takes shorter, that's whatever it is best for you. But for me, it was a month, and then I transitioned into the ketosis. And I've got to say, that transition, once you get in there, once you start seeing that your ketones, um, I have the little test strips that you're in ketosis, the cravings are not there. And I have said this before, and it's facts. Your sugar level is even, with a little bit of carbs. It just goes along all day, just like that. It doesn't go like that, and then like that, and then like that, and even higher. It just all day long just goes like that. And that is so wonderful because you're not without those spikes. You're not thinking about food. You're not thinking about, carbs and sweets and pizzas and the breads and the pasta. You just, and if it does cross your mind, of course you might think about it, but you're not out of control. You're able to maintain control. And that's what it's all about, because we lose the control the minute we have the bread or the cereal or even oats in the morning. We lose the control. So that's what I want to tell you, that once you do reach ketosis, once you get into that state and you don't have all those carbs in your body, it won't take long for you to be pretty much rid of those cravings. And number two is that sugar addiction fades when you stop feeding it. Now, every time we put sweets into our mouth, even if it's just a taste, we keep that addiction alive. And I know that's how it's been for me. Even with that sweet and low that I used to use, or even, I'm not sure about the stevia. Somebody told me I can get a certain stevia that will definitely not raise my sugar, but I'll have to look into that. I still haven't had a chance. But the thing is, when you're not having that sugar, your brain calms down. Your brain, because the food that's been processed, which is most of the carbs, all of it, it affects your brain. There's a part of your brain that is actually addicted to it. And if you're not feeding that addiction, then you're not going to have those cravings. And that is the best part of all of this, folks. And yes, you're replacing it with good, healthy fats, you're replacing it with protein, and you're feeling content. You're not feeling like you're being deprived. That is a wonderful thing. You're getting rid of your cravings. You don't feel like you're deprived. You have all of this energy. Your brain is calmed down. It's you couldn't ask for more. I mean, there's a lot more benefits, but that's just the start of it, and that happens quickly. And as far as the cravings that you do get, you start craving the good food, like the meat, the eggs, maybe avocado, butter, bacon. You start craving that type of food. You're not craving, the old sugars and terrible foods that you used to eat. So, and that is so exciting. That is so exciting. That is what does it for you. You're not all day long going through a battle in your head. Oh, I can't eat. I can't eat. I can't eat this. That's another thing. Don't say you can't eat something. Say you don't eat something. Like, don't say I can't eat bread. Say I don't eat bread. But that will change. It's like a habit, just like in other habits. Well, it's more of an addiction, that bad food that we've been eating. That is an addiction, but we can change that. And I really think this is the answer. This is the golden answer. This is helping so many people, you know, get their life back. And I just mentioned energy. So number 4 is your energy. Your energy, you can plan your day. You're predicted. You could predict what you want to do. You can put your intentions in because you got the energy. Take care of things that you used to do. You know, you're not going to have these crashes after eating where you got to go lay down, or these shaky, um, hangry moods that you get sometimes if you don't have food in your stomach, and your body just runs steady. You stop needing those snacks every hour, every couple of hours. You don't need it because you make sure that when you do have your meal, you put the vitamins into your body that your body needs. So it's just so wonderful, and that's why so many people are so passionate about this, and that's what got me hooked by watching and listening to other people talk about this. They got their life back. It's the way to go. And just, you know, I know people have success with all types of diets. Of course, if you reduce your carbs, you're going to lose weight, you're going to feel better. And that's why I say, we're all on a different journey to different places. Maybe some people will just go the low carb and still have a lot of the vegetables and stuff. And that's going to make your life much better too. You're not eating all the junk food, just getting rid of the processed food. No, we've all heard that a million times. Get rid of that processed food. But number 5 is you gain freedom from your constant food thoughts. And I could tell you, I could be eating something and I'm thinking, what am I going to eat next as I'm eating something? I've done that so many times. What am I going to have after this? What am I going to have after this? And some days were so much worse than other. It was like a non-stop eating all day long. It's a wonder I didn't I got sick. We all know I got sick, but it's a wonder I didn't pass out with all the food that I could fit into my stomach. It was a miracle how much food I could eat. I could put it down, but you're not thinking all day long about food. Everything they say is so true. Everything they say, the carnivores, the ketovores, the keto people, even the low carb people, your life just changes. If you're not thinking about food, you're thinking about things that you want to do in your life. And that's freedom, folks. So, number 6 is your taste buds reset, and you like simpler food. And I can attest to that too, just on my, well, as some of you know, I've been only on the ketosis, actually in ketosis for, um, let me take a drink of this. My mouth is dry. What, it'll be 3 weeks this week. About 2.5 weeks I've been in ketosis. But now I mentioned to somebody, somebody had commented and was asking about that, about the sugar. The on those little strips, it's showing that you're not in ketosis. Now during the day when I check it, I am in ketosis, still hovering around 1.5. Although one day it did go even higher than that. But there's one thing that I realized, because I was getting up early in the morning and I was testing the urine strips to see if I was still in ketosis. Now, I wouldn't have a bite of food from 6 o'clock the night before until that morning when I got up. I didn't have a bite of food, and I didn't have carbs the day before. And I'd get up and it would show 0 on those test strips that I wasn't in ketosis. And for the first couple of days, I was like, something is wrong here. This shouldn't be here. I don't have any carbs in my system. But I realized that diabetics, and if you don't know this, this is valuable information for you. But diabetics are known. I think only diabetics. I don't know if all people have this, but are known to have dawn phenomenon. That's what they call it, a dawn phenomenon. And that's when, in the early morning hours, you release sugar into your bloodstream. It's a whole load of sugar that gets released into your bloodstream, and that's why I think it's pushing me out of ketosis in the early morning. When I check it, I'm out of ketosis because the sugar is racing through my blood. Now, I'm hoping that that's not going to happen the more I get my sugar down. And it is going down gradually. Now, I think when like on March 22nd, when I started this, my sugar was hovering around 200, give or take, in the mornings when I tested my sugar. And I've gotten it down to about 160. So it's going down. Now, it's not anywhere near where I want it to be, but it's going down because, and the reason it shot up, like I brought it down a couple of years ago from 7.9 to 6.4, and then in the last year I went crazy and I ate everything I could eat. There was no diet involved, and I knew it shot up again. So when I started testing it, because I didn't test it for that whole year, I knew I was not doing the right thing, and I just didn't test it that year. So when I finally tested it in March, I shot up in the morning to 200, and it was really, I don't remember it being that high. Even when I was at 7.9, I don't think it was that high. So I was really out of control back then. So now I'm getting it down. It's about 160. Now my weight, I can't say anything to brag about with my weight because, yeah, I'm losing a few pounds here and there, but it's not a lot. And when I reach that, it's just crazy. I'll just go ahead and tell you. I've been saying that I'm not telling you my weight until I lose 20 pounds. But you know everything else about me, darn near. So my highest weight was 254 pounds. That's the highest I ever got in my life. And right now I'm at 242 pounds. So some of it came off this round, and maybe some of it came on when I was doing the low carb and I got my sugar down last year, but it's not a lot. I'm not really, you know, down significantly from my highest weight. I'm just not. But as much as I don't like that, I'm not letting that discourage me because I feel better. I feel so much better. Like I said, I can get on top of that mountaintop too, and I would scream out loud how wonderful it is. I wouldn't change it, and I hope one day at a time that I can stick to it, and I hope you folks can too. Get on it. It's such an easier way. It's an easier way instead of fad diets and quick diets. You know, it's a lifestyle change, and I think it's sustainable. I think it's sustainable. I don't feel deprived. I'm able to do my fasting most days from 6 p.m. to 10 a.m. Although last night I did have to get up and have a little piece of meat because I was getting hungry again around 8:30. And I know if I'm hungry, it interrupts my sleep. So once in a while I have to do that. Anyway, that's about it. I just wanted to talk about that because knowing that you're not going to go through these struggles once you hit the ketosis. Just remember that as you gradually decrease your carbs, yeah, you're going to go through some changes. Your body is changing. You might get the keto flu, and there's a lot of things that, you're not going to feel good. You're going to be oxalate dumping. It's going to cause problems and pain, and you're going to be tired. You are going to go through that at the beginning. But I think once you get into that ketosis, I think that it really levels out and it gets so much easier. So, anyway, folks, I put my hair up this morning, and I know if you've been watching me, I always have these big bald spots here because I'm losing my hair. And as I was doing this, because I'm going out later today and I wanted to look a little better, but I guess I didn't put too much. But this is what I wanted to show you, folks. For those of you that are losing hair, you could buy this, and it's like a powder, and you put it on the spot. See that? And then you pat it on there. You see? Well, I have to get to the bathroom to do it so I can see what I'm doing. But and then you put hairspray on it, and it covers a lot. Look at how much this side is covered. Now that's just hair thickening fibers. Some of you may know about it, but if I'm going out somewhere and trying to look better than I do when I'm out on those trails, or I'm going to meet up with people, then I like to use this. And this was the one that I first started using was Topic, and this is very good too. Now, this morning I got to thinking, why am I not buying the darker color to put on the sides? I think I'm going to order some of that because this is so dark. I think it would look better if I have darker on the sides. So, and this is not too terribly expensive, and it lasts. It does. They both. Well, this one I think. Well, I've had it for a while. This one is probably $25 or something. But and this is one of the things that, in fact, my profile picture, I was wearing this. I was wearing this, folks. I was wearing this wig right here. I bought it from Paula Young. I'm not making money. You're selling it. And when I took that picture, I was wearing this. And I think in that picture I look a little thinner, so that picture must have been taken before I went haywire this last year because I think I do look a little thinner in that picture. But I just wanted to share this with you because I know, people, I know how it is. I know how it is to have bald spots. I mean, even the back of my head. I can't wear my hair down because it's bald spots back there. It's been falling out for 10 years. So that's why my hair is always up. Anyway, folks, I just want to throw that tip in there. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your Sunday. And tomorrow we'll be back out on those trails and I'll be making another video. And I always thank you guys for watching and subscribing and liking. I just love it. I love that you are getting something out of my videos. And anyway, have a great day. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.